LB Devin Bush is a surefire first-round pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, but that doesn't mean teams aren't concerned. Scouts have always been concerned about his size, but that never stopped Bush from being an extremely productive LB during his time at Michigan. School: Michigan year, junior height, 5 feet 11 inches, weight, 234 lbs. Michigan Wolverines had the number 2 overall defense in college football last season. They allowed an average of just 17.6 points per game. The Wolverines had one of the best defensive units in the country. At the center of it all was Bush. In his 2 seasons starting for the Michigan Wolverines, Bush totaled 172 total tackles, 18.5 tackles for loss, and 10.0 sacks. In other words, he was one of the best LBs in college football. Now, Bush makes the transition to the NFL. Bush was already considered a top LB heading into the NFL Combine, but his Combine performance only solidified his draft stock. The numbers below are proof he's among the best LBs in this class. Despite his outstanding production at Michigan and his performance at the NFL Combine, NFL scouts still have their concerns about Bush. I'm here to tell you that they shouldn't, because Bush can do a little bit of everything the best LBs should do. Let's take a look at what made Bush so productive at Michigan and what will help him as he takes the next step to the NFL. Strengths. It doesn't matter where on the field Bush is, he's going to fly to the ball every single play. One of Bush's biggest strengths is his ability to make plays on every part of the field. One play you might see him on the left sideline, and then on the next play you'll see him on the right. The kid just flies to ball no matter where the play is going. There isn't a linebacker in the country who runs like this guy from sideline to sideline. That quote comes from Michigan DC Don Brown. Watch the following video to see highlights of Bush's ability to run from sideline to sideline and hear more on what Don Brown had to say about the leader of his defense. One of the reasons why Bush is so good at making plays from sideline to sideline is because he has the speed to do so. Watch him run the 40 at the NFL Combine. Bush blazed the 40, running a 4.43. This is a LB we're talking about. Bush is a LB with the speed of RBs, WRs and DBs. Speed has a lot to do with Bush's ability to make plays. This is also one of the main reasons why he's going in the first round of the draft. You don't see a whole lot of LBs running this fast. As I mentioned above, Bush has the speed to keep up with RBs and WRs. As a LB, Bush will frequently be asked to play in coverage, especially against RBs. With his speed, he'll have no trouble doing so. To put into perspective how his speed will translate to coverage, let's take a look at the 40 times by the RBs at the NFL Combine. LB Devin Bush ran a 4.43. There was one RB, just one, who ran a faster time than Bush. That RB was Oklahoma State RB Justice Hill, who ran a 4.40. That's pretty much the same time. His speed will help him in coverage immensely, but it's not just his speed. Bush has also proven he has a good feel for where the ball is while in coverage. Over the last 2 seasons, Bush recorded 11 pass breakups and 1 int. He's proven he can succeed in pass coverage, which is a valuable asset to have for any LB, but especially for a young one. A lot of the time when LBs get blocked, especially ones of smaller stature, the play is over for them. That's not the case with Bush. Bush takes on, and then plays right through blocks. Watch this video to see Bush take on a block and then make the play. Bush took that block from the lineman, but he never stopped watching the play. He kept his eyes on the ball carrier the entire time. When the RB came his way, Bush got off the block and stuffed the RB for no gain. You just won't see Bush giving up on plays because he's got a blocker on him. He's always looking for a way to make a play. I've already mentioned Bush's great abilities to make tackles from sideline to sideline and play in coverage. Those two things are going to keep Devin Bush on the field every down. He can play against the run and play in coverage against the pass, but those aren't the only things he can do. Over the last 2 seasons, Bush totaled 10.0 sacks, 5.5 in 2017 and 4.5 in 2018. So, not only can Bush play the run and cover, he can also rush the passer. Bush's strengths allow him to be on the field for every defensive snap. That's what teams are looking for in their LBs. Weaknesses. There is a little bit of a size concern with Bush. At 5 feet 11 inches, 234 pounds, he comes in a little undersized. This is interesting to me for 2 reasons. First, fellow LB and surefire first-round pick Devin White comes in at 6 feet 0 inches, 237 pounds. White is 1 inch taller and 3 pounds heavier than Bush, but I haven't heard any size concerns about him. Not really sure why the 1 inch and 3 pounds makes a difference. Second, I don't believe in size concerns. If a player can play, he can play. Bush can play. Teams may want him to play OLB because of his size, but I would personally have no problem playing Bush at MLB. I personally don't think his size is a weakness, but a lot of teams do, which is why I've listed it here. Neutralized by bigger players, this may be the reason why teams think his size is a weakness. Although one of Bush's strengths is his ability to take on and play through blocks, he can sometimes get taken out of place by bigger players at the second level. The highlight we watched earlier was a block pretty much right at the line of scrimmage. His ability to take on blocks at the second level isn't quite as good. Don't get me wrong here, Bush will still play through blocks at the second level. The thing is, typically the linemen who get into the second level are the bigger, more athletic guys who excel at blocking. Bush has a tendency to be taken out of the play by guys who fit that mold. While Bush makes plays all over the field, I noticed he guesses on plays a little too much. He might think he knows where the play is going at times, but then the play goes a different way. That puts him in bad position. His speed allows him to make up for being in bad position at times, but you'd still like to see him not making so many guesses and getting himself into trouble. He needs to improve upon his pre-snap reads. One thing I noticed about Bush is that he often gets confused on misdirection or trick plays. Yes, that's the point of those plays, but not everyone falls for them. Bush falls for them a little too much. When there's a misdirection play, Bush doesn't have the quickest reaction time. In fact, I'd even say he can be slow to react to those types of plays. This puts him in bad position, sometimes even putting him completely out of position to make plays. Again, his strengths can help him overcome this, but this is definitely an area where he needs to improve as he heads to the NFL. Pro Comparison, Stephen Tulloch, Best Team Fits, Baltimore Ravens and Oakland Raiders Projection, mid to late first round.